Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Rights and Democracy Television, RAD TV, live at 5:25, your monthly connection to all things rights and democracy. Rights and Democracy is a grassroots, people-powered organization committed to building an independent political movement for fundamental change. I'm your host, Grant Taylor, and joining me today is Dustin Tanner, an amazing RAD leader and organizer, social media star, track and field coach, and sports commentator for Northwest Access Television. Also with us today is Anna Josti, senior at Champlain College, RAD intern and community activist. This month we'll be discussing an amazing a month of community engagement in our democratic system, including a call for a people's agenda on day one of the legislative session in Montpelier, the nationwide healthcare rallies, including Burlington's over 1,000 attendees, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and Black Lives Matter Vermont's rally against the school-to-prison pipeline and for criminal justice reform, and the Women's March on Montpelier, and Montpelier's over 15,000 attendees, which was amazing, and more if there's time. I had the opportunity to speak with many of the event attendees who represented areas all over Vermont. Many of them provided us with testimonials about why they were there, how they felt about the future, and we'll be hearing from them throughout the show. First off, I'd like to talk about day one of the legislative session on Wednesday, January 4th. Rights and Democracy, along with other organizations, put together a rally on the steps of the State House calling for a people's agenda. Later in the day, there was a panel discussion on the same topic to facilitate community engagement. Here's Rights and Democracy board member, Marie Cordes, recent nominee for state representative, energizing the crowd and on the front steps of the State House.
The current DC political situation is dire. And yet we have hope because we are organizing the thousands of people in Vermont rising up to build collective power and sending a sustained pulse back to our elected leaders, saying that now, more than ever, is the time for elected leaders to be strong and principled for people, particularly the vulnerable and the marginalized.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mari. Next up, we have Max Barrows, Outreach Coordinator with Green Mountain Self-Advocates, putting a direct focus on the connection between raised wages and decreased employee turnover.
Did you know that last year it cost $4.6 million to train and replace staff? Think about that for a second. That is a lot of wasted time and money. This could be avoided by paying livable wages. So, pay staff what they are actually worth. In fact, pay all workers what they are actually worth. We are here together to call for a people's agenda. Please support all workers earning a livable wage, and it has to be the top priority. And this is an example of why Vermont needs to put people first. Thank you very much.
Charlie Delaney Ngasso, Indigenous peoples and environmental rights activist, put a heavy focus on Vermont's role in the larger environmental and Indigenous movements.
In October of this year, the governor, by executive order, changed Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day. I'm here today to remind the legislature and to try to impress upon them to pass a bill in order to make it so on the state level. Why is this important? Indigenous people, original peoples, we're not against Columbus, we're not against other ethnic groups. We're against the colonization of what it represents, not only of a people, but of resources, natural resources, how we heat our homes, these things, how we take care of ourselves. These things need to be looked at and addressed. Abenaki people are small people, but we are here in the state, Nadakana, our homeland. It is all our homeland. We are all here. We all have the same issues. By the legislature considering doing such a thing, a small people, original people, Vermonters, do a greater thing. They bring a greater attention to a bigger problem. Water is life everywhere.
Yeah! Newly elected state representative and now clerk for the Climate Caucus, Celine Colburn lays down her purpose with a couple of mic drop statements.
It's been really interesting preparing to come into this building as a new representative. I've sought a lot of advice and I've gotten a lot of advice, and a lot of the advice I've gotten is about holding back, going small, going slow, being careful, and you know, I'm listening because I think I want to be efficient in that building and I want to show humility and I want to do a good job, but I also didn't get elected to be in that building to think small.
Yeah. More video from Celine.
We are here to eliminate institutional bias. And we've talked a lot in our sort of postmortems on the national election about how we got the outcome that we did. And sometimes I've heard people talk about that maybe we focus too much on inclusion in that work at the expense of focusing on economic justice. And I just really want to reaffirm my commitment to building an inclusive movement. If we are not here thinking big for everybody, there is no point in being here.
So I was pretty impressed with Celine's kind of purpose there and her words that day. Thank you, Celine. Dustin, you were there that day. What'd you think?
I was there for that day. It was a really good good start to the session. You know, nationally and locally, we have a Republican governor and a Republican president who are going to attack some of the things that we love and care about. And to see so many people come together for a rally on the State House steps when it was cold, it was rainy, it was 30 degrees, it was not a good time to be outside. And a lot of people came and they talked, and the passion in each speech was great. I loved Celine's speech. I think she's a rock star as a state rep, and I'm so happy she's down there because I've been able to talk to her about issues myself. And it's nice to have some leadership that has come from the grassroots organizations such as RAD. And also laying out a people's agenda, because Phil Scott, who is our governor, campaigned on making things better for the Vermont people, and so far he's not getting a good scorecard as of right now in the first couple of weeks. So it's really interesting to see, and you know, the people's agenda, such as raising the wage, and I think that's something everybody at this table can speak to about how the minimum wage is just not high enough in Vermont is one of those things on the people's agenda, and also protecting our, climate and protecting our, protecting the things that Vermont holds near and dear to its hearts.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see those laid out.
Yeah, it was a really good thing to get out there on day one. Yeah. To sum up the day, we have a quick comment from Rick Barstow, representing Adamant, Vermont.
Yes, I felt it was a very exciting day, kicking off the new biennium. Seeing people come together from many different experiences, backgrounds, organizations, building a much more cohesive movement to overcome the problems that we are dealing with. And people I see are realizing how interconnected everything is, and that one problem affects all. And I think in spite of the fact that Trump got elected, I think there's a positive side to that, in that it is inspiring people from all over to get involved and do what needs to be done to build a society that works for all of us, and doesn't leave out any. It's a time to take back what belongs to everybody from the few who don't seem to ever feel they have enough and have been trying to take it from everybody for far too long. So I think we're on our way to a new day.
Very good, Dan. Next up on the list here, we have Sunday the 15th was a national healthcare rally all around the country. Many people came together. It was all about protecting and providing healthcare for all. Burlington got 1,000 people together at the local high school. Among the many other speakers that day was Senator Chris Pearson. He spoke up loud and proud for democracy, Vermont, and challenging the status quo.
You can't do anything in little Vermont, they said. You'll never be able to do this. But for some reason, DC lobbyists for pharma were flying in and booking nights in Montpelier. And every contract lobbyist in the building suddenly had contracts. I was their best friend. Little Vermont can't do anything, but you know what? There was about a dozen states that had language in their state houses looking at this, including Governor Cuomo across the lake. He put it in his budget to do this. Guess which state actually did it? Vermont. We were the first state to do it. Two things came out of that pretty quickly. You may have noticed your prescription drugs are not more affordable, so we have some work to do. But two things very quickly happened. Within months of our passing this bill and Governor Shumlin signing it, a bipartisan bill mirroring that was introduced in Congress. So we got their attention, even some Republicans. They also said, well, even if you do this, the industry won't comply, they'll take you to court, blah, blah, blah. We actually got all the information from the industry. Not only did they give us what we needed, but we sparked a discussion in the industry about how to handle transparency. And once and for all, the idea that ballooning costs in pharmaceuticals has anything to do with research and development or actual medical care has been completely shattered. The industry all but admitted, they said, we crank up prices when 9 other drugs we're trying to bring to market fail and one other one is selling, we crank that one up. So we have pulled back the veneer. In little old Vermont, we were able to do that.
All right. That's right. Yes, we can, right here in little old Vermont. Dustin, I know you were there that day as well. How did it feel having so many people show up?
Well, it was interesting because we packed an auditorium past fire code, and it was. Were you there as well, or you were not there for that one? There was so many people who were coming in and kept coming in. I was working the RAD table with Adrian that day, and it was just when the doors opened, we had almost a packed auditorium, and then another 500 or so people just came streaming through. It was a really good rally. And I think a lot of people are realizing what would happen if the Affordable Care Act got repealed at this point, and that it's not good. It's not good for anybody, and that we need to keep the Affordable Care Act. And it's not perfect. No bill is ever perfect, but for the most part, it's done a really good job of just keeping more Americans healthy with the provisions such as being able to stay on your parents' insurance, the fact that Medicaid has more eligibility, the fact that these programs can all get funded now for certain things. It really has done a lot good. And the fact that the GOP at the national level is just going at it, and they've been campaigning for 6 years about it. You know, the people have to rise up, and we need more rallies like this. You know, we need 1,000 people in every gymnasium in the United States of America to, you know, call their representatives and be like, hey, I need health care. You should probably not gut this. But it was a good rally. It was fun to be at. All the speakers were great. Really good crowd. Jess Early did some emceeing for that and did an amazing job. Another RAD member who just knocks it out of the park. Some of the other moments where David Zuckerman spoke very well. We had Bernie on the live stream, and that went really well. And good rally overall.
Yeah, cool, cool. Yeah, it seems like they're just getting bigger and bigger. I don't know why that's happening. After that event, I had a chance to catch up with Ginny in Maryland from Maple Corner in Calais. They find solidarity and comfort in local organizing.
Hi, I'm Ginny Sassman, and I live in Maple Corner, Vermont. This is my good buddy Marilyn Bush, also from Maple Corner, Vermont, which is in Calais. I just wanted to share with all the Rights and Democracy viewers and folks that in Calais we had an emergency organizing meeting immediately after an emergency community organizing meeting immediately after the election. We've been getting together as a group. We're supporting each other emotionally, spiritually. We're sharing information. A group of us carpooled up to this amazing event here in Burlington. And so I just want to encourage everybody, it's not that hard. It's really fun. You get together in each other's living rooms. You know, it's rough, it's tough, it's exciting, it's all these things. And, you know, we're there for each other, and makes it all a lot more bearable, a lot more fun.
A lot of comfort in solidarity.
And we're doing it. We're activists. We're doing it.
At a very local level.
Thank you.
All right.
Go Calais.
That's what I wanted to say.
Woohoo.
Okay. See you.
So that was a really great day. A lot of people feeling that way at that rally that day. Very next day was Monday, the 16th of January, when the United States of America celebrates one of the greatest heroes the world has ever known, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Gathering at Burlington High School, Black Lives Matter Vermont held a powerful rally to make a point to end the school-to-prison pipeline. And after the rally, there was a march down to the Burlington Police Department to call for criminal justice reform here in Vermont. Let's hear directly from Ebony Nyoni, founder and director of Black Lives Matter Vermont, on the day of the event.
Because the public school system for many years, for decades, have used systems of racism to affect our youth, to affect the youth of color, to affect their ways of thinking about themselves, their actions. They have created a system that glorifies whiteness, that glorifies white people and their actions, and demonizes people of color. They have created systems where youth of color don't know that they were kings and queens, that their ancestors
was particularly happy to hear Ebony voice her opinions and all of those meaningful thoughts about our society today. In this time of great division around our world and in our country specifically, let's try to remember the dream of Dr. King spoke of and his beautiful message to all of us: equal rights for all over the world, inside and outside of our borders. Dustin, did you have anything to say about
I was not able to attend that rally in March because I had other things planned that day. I wish I could have gone. I believe we're going to get to some speeches at the Women's March, and Ebony spoke there as well. I believe it was her, and gave a great speech. I think one of the best speeches I've seen in a long time. And I think with the growing uncertainty in America in regards to racism and race relations, that we should all remember that when you take off the skin color, we, you know, have the same color bones, have the same color blood, have the same looking brains, and people who want to see color differently need to understand that they're wrong. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we all are in this together on the earth, and I'm sure you can attest to that. In, you know, the environment that we live in, it should not matter what your race is, and everybody should be treated equally and with respect.
All right. Anna, did you do anything that day or feel anything, friends, anybody?
Yeah, so I went to the Women's March. It was definitely a time of empowerment. As girls, we're taught to be competitive with each other, you know, to be the thinnest, the prettiest. So it was a time to be together and experience love and solidarity together. So it's definitely easy to get sad in this political climate. So it's a good time to feel empowerment and be like, yeah, I can take this on and really do something. So it felt nice.
And I believe the next clips we have are from the Women's
taking
March.
us right into the Women's March. That's perfect. That was the next big event, and by far the biggest political rally Vermont has experienced. The Women's March on Montpelier, Saturday the 21st, Vermont's sister march to the Women's March on Washington, brought in over 15,000 people to Montpelier, which, if we broke some fire codes having the healthcare rally, we may have broken some codes having that many people go into Montpelier that day. We shut down the interstate exit. It was amazing to see so many people come together, and unexpected by everybody as well. After managing to gather at Montpelier High School, everyone marched to the State House steps, where speeches were given by Megan Gallagher, president of the Vermont Planned Parenthood Action Fund, Ebony Nyoni, founder and director of Black Lives Matter Vermont, and former Governor Madeline Cunion, State Representative Kaya Morris, and U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, among others. Let's hear from some people that attended the march.
I'm Monica Clark, and I'm just scared, but I don't know what's going to happen to my future. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just a kid. It's scary growing up with this, but I'm hopeful. There are people out there that are going to help, and I'm hopeful.
Okay. I'm Ramona Bilodeau, and the reason I'm here is it's a scary time for women, but seeing all the support makes it a little bit less scary.
Thank you.
3 more?
Well, I mean, we got 5 minutes left. I think we should just talk about the march in general.
I really want to play those other 3 videos, thanks.
Okay, go for it. It's your show.
My name's Olivia, and I'm 18, and I'm from New Hampshire, and I go to college at Smith College in Northampton, Mass.
My name's Hannah. I go to River Valley Community College in Claremont, New Hampshire, and I live in Newport, New Hampshire.
And why we're here today?
And why are you guys here today?
We want our voices heard.
And it's important. It's important to be here today. That's all I really have to offer.
How does it feel seeing all of these people here with you?
It feels so empowering.
It
I'm
feels incredible.
so, like, my heart is so warm seeing all these people who are fighting for women's rights, and, you know, knowing that there are these people out there when you don't really see it a lot, especially where I'm from.
Hi, I'm Kate. I'm from Barnard, Vermont. I think it's great to come here today. I felt very passionate about coming. My sign respect and protect is basically respecting the rights of all women, race, color, religion, and protecting equal rights for women, protecting reproductive bodies for women, and we're here. We're equal, and I love it. Happy to see everybody here.
Hey, I'm Karen. I'm from Bethel, Vermont, and I've got DW from the Storybook here with me. She joined us today, and she is saying to everybody, respect, dignity, and honor for all. And I work with kids for a living, and it is really hard for me to see the kids that I work with who maybe bully other kids or get kicked out of school. They have consequences, and I see the President of the United States doing the same thing, and it's very hard for there to be no consequences for that, and I think it's not a good message. So I'm hoping there'll be a lot of positive messages today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm here with my sister and my cousins, and we've come to march to support women and women's rights. I come down from Massachusetts to join them, and I've got 3 daughters and a son, and that's why this is important to me. Ruthie?
Hi, I'm here because it's important. It's important for all of us women to stand up for all that we've gained so far. To turn around and lose it all again is just beyond comprehension. I'm marching because I want women's rights and equal rights to continue. I want it to be something that we can all be proud of and go further forward and continue on. Right, guys?
Right. Yeah.
All right. Okay, just a couple more minutes left, and I'd just like to open it up to Dustin and Anna here to fill us in.
I think I'm going to let Anna take the floor on this one because she was a pretty vital part of the march, and I've spoken a lot today.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so I attended the march. I was actually asked to wear the goddess mask with bread and puppet, so that was really fun, being able to embrace my inner goddess and really dance around and empower myself. But yeah, there are great speakers there. There are these young women there who are speaking about their bodies and how men feel entitled to their bodies, and it really spoke to me. Engaging in clubbing culture, guys just feel like they can own your body. But seeing a lot of men at the rally, I was like, oh my God, like there are men who support us. So it's a great community moment for us.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I'm glad everybody had a good time. I'd particularly like to thank all of the RAD endorsed candidates that have gotten out and spoken out in this past month. Thank you so much for doing that. The people need you to meet us halfway, and out at these rallies is a really great place to do that.